Becky is forcing us to use stands this time because some of the best feedback we've had, which we've had for 10 years. Is there an echo?
Does it feel echoey?
Yeah.
What part?
My voice? Is that because I'm screaming?
No.
Or I'm too close to you?
I think you sound nice.
So you guys, we have taken a critical listen and eye to our first few podcasts. And if you thought it, we thought it. And obviously...
There's nothing you could come up with that we didn't already think of.
Not a lick.
That's right.
Obviously, we have voice control issues. Mine is too loud and Becky's is too soft. So she wanted to instill these stands, which I respect because she is in charge of our technical team.
Yes.
I have never felt so claustrophobic or constricted in my life. This is the stillest I have ever sat while speaking. It feels like she locked me in a cage and I'm not allowed to move. But
well, mic technique was an issue. We found that our distance from the mic was variable.
And so I trust her.
Yes.
I just don't. If this is all the motion I can make with my head, if you're watching this on YouTube.
Is it going to be a real problem?
No, it's just going to be a new challenge. Not a real problem, a new challenge, but I honor you and I respect you.
Should we tell the listener about what happened at work the other day?
What happened?
When we got...
Oh, God.
So speaking of technical issues, we work in live television. You understand anything could happen at any time.
It's unscripted and it's not edited.
Correct.
So just so you know, it's just lights go on and so do we.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
So we leaned in for a hug before we started our cell, and my sweater, what did I have on?
So we have microphones that hook to our shirts, and Becky had a cute sweater on. I think you had the Christopher and Banks, like the relaxed, restyled kind of casual sweater.
Yes.
And it wasn't the sweater's fault. It was my mic's fault. But I am superstitious. If I don't hug the girls before we start, I feel like there's something off.
Yeah.
My love language is all 5. So hug me, give me presents, do acts, everything. Roll it all up. If we don't hug, I just don't feel there's something off.
And the girls feel that too. Like they'll say, we didn't hug.
So we go in for the hug and my mic goes right into not only her sweater, but her sweater right on her right cutlet. Or some people would call it a boob. Ours is just a bra and a cutlet. And we got stuck together. So we had to hold each other and get off set.
But we just sort of scooted.
Shuffle.
Because we were attached, literally attached. So we just went, just shuffle.
And that's been my dream since I first met Becky and her nightmare. And so we had to shuffle off the set, which we think is funny. But, there's an entire crew behind the scenes, and immediately they have to go into crisis mode.
Yeah.
Do we cut the shot? Do we go somewhere else?
What did they do? I don't even know what they did.
I don't know, because then I had to manhandle your right boob.
That's right.
And get my mic off of it. So I was just worried about making sure.
I have to get notes.
We still kept it professional.
Here, I got to get my notes.
Oh, you want these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it with your toe.
Okay.
Erin's doing a lot of toe work.
Well, fallback. You guys all know our fallback.
All right, I want to play a little game.
Wait, my notes are showing on the back. Oh, Becky also put a table in front of her to make sure everyone knew she's the technological czar.
She wouldn't give me a gavel. I would like some kind of some sort of a hammer.
She wanted like physical representation of her importance in case everybody didn't know.
No, you know what I want? I want to be able to do stuff like this. I have, these are all preloaded and we don't even know how to use this thing.
By the way, a lot of you have asked about Nina. Nina is behind the scenes helping us as like a consultant.
Too far behind the scenes though.
When it works out for her, she will be here to moderate this show.
Yes.
And to help. And she's like just a great consultant. But surprise, she's young and hip and cool and has like 900 jobs and a boyfriend. And so she will be in and out as often as we can get her.
That was her program.
Yes.
So that's you, Nina. That's your call.
Yes. Okay. All right. So why do you have notes today?
Well, we were talking about the holidays, which are coming up.
Happy holidays.
Upon us. We have a, month or so.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play a little knockout round.
Oh, sure. I love a knockout.
So you have to pick and only one will stay.
No problem.
All right. So let's see who makes the cut This is holiday movie edition.
Okay. Are you sure we're not echoing too much?
I don't know. Does it feel different to you?
To me, it's a strong echo. But again, I don't have an ear or a voice for podcasting, radio, or television.
All right, let me try this. Hold on. Tell me if it still does.
Okay.
Okay, keep saying words.
This is way better.
Does it? Is it better?
Oh, no. That's not way better. See, and I remember I can't hear much. Okay.
How about there?
Now I can't hear anything. That's okay. If you don't hear an echo, then I don't think it's a worry.
All right.
Okay, go.
All right, here we go. We're going to go with holiday edition knockout round.
Okay,
here we go.
Let me just adjust my cage. Okay.
Great.
Hit it, girl.
Erin.
Yes.
Pick one and only one. It's a Wonderful Life or Elf?
Elf. Always. I'm on the candy cane diet, or the candy diet.
Okay.
The elf diet.
Elf or Home Alone?
Home Alone. The nostalgia. Kevin.
Okay. Home Alone or Home Alone 2?
Buzz's girlfriend. Home Alone 1.
Home Alone 1
Even
wins.
though we recreated Home Alone 2 for my son's 10th birthday once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea. Okay. Home Alone is still winning.
Okay.
Home Alone. Oh, you don't want to see mine? Okay. What's on that side?
You got it.
All right. Home Alone or Die Hard?
Home Alone. I've never even seen Die Hard. I never will.
Really?
And I don't even like the argument, is it a Christmas movie or not? It seems silly.
It does seem silly.
Okay.
Home Alone's winning. A Christmas Story. Do you know this one?
Yeah. Oh, I like Home
With
Alone.
Ralphie.
And no offense to A Christmas Story, but a lot of this scene work makes me a little sad. Like, it's so dark.
It is. It's shot in a really weird way.
It's like just not as nostalgic, because I want it to be more like sad.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I can feel the breeze coming in the house, and I'm cold. And also I'm upset that their meal got eaten and they had to go out to eat.
The Bumpus's dogs.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so you did not make the cut, Christmas Story.
No, sorry.
All right, Home Alone or Miracle on 34th Street, new version.
I've never seen any Miracle on 34th Street. I know that's probably not a popular opinion, so I'm going to go with Home Alone.
Home Alone, Santa Claus.
Home Alone. But
Wow.
have you seen the old school The Santa Claus?
Wait, isn't that what we're talking
With
about?
Dudley Moore?
No.
No, have you seen that? It's called The Santa Claus. It's from a long, long, long time ago.
Do I need to add it to the list?
Add it to the list and look it up.
All right.
Okay.
The Santa Claus. All
Yes.
right. Santa Claus is dead. How about Scrooged? Home Alone versus Scrooge.
Home Alone always.
Wow. How about versus Charlie Brown Christmas? How about that? This is a tough one, you guys.
I'm still going to go Home Alone, and this is why.
All right.
Charlie Brown's Christmas is too short. You get into it, it's over.
All right. So that's more of a production value issue.
I like you want to put it on in the background while you're eating dinner.
Yeah, it is. It's an after. Yeah.
Like for when the kids were younger and they would fall asleep to it.
It's so calming.
I love it.
And their little dance.
When they dance at the end.
It's so good.
That's what I would like. When I turn 50, I want you guys to do a flash mob.
With
that's
that.
just the Peanuts characters dancing.
Okay, when you see me with
Which one will you be?
The one with the blanket.
Linus? Oh, Pigpen?
Who's the stinky one?
Pigpen. I thought you were going to say Peppermint Patty.
No.
She's got some fancy moves.
She does have some fancy moves.
Okay.
All right. Who do we still have? Home Alone is still winning?
Schroeder also on the piano.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah. I love the Peanuts. The Peanuts are a close second. Don't get down.
What did you say?
Peanuts are
Peanuts.
not peanuts.
Peanuts. Okay. Home Alone up against A Christmas Carol.
Home Alone.
All right.
You started off with a banger. I don't know what to tell you.
Muppet Christmas Carol?
No. We go
Still
with Home
no.
Alone always.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Home Alone, Christmas Vacation.
Now, this is where...
You knew it was coming.
This is like, is it the movie Sophie's Choice where you have to choose? I've never seen that either. But I've heard you got to choose between a kid or something.
And a terrible reference. You all know.
Is
who
it
have
really?
seen
I've never seen it.
I'm
so
not going to give away. It's a 30-year-old movie. I can't give away the...
Okay. All I know is she has to make a tough decision.
Between her children.
What happens to the other one? Wow. Oh, don't tell me.
It's a
Christmas
It's a very
time.
special holiday episode.
Keep it joyful. Guys, this is tough.
Home Alone. The question is Home Alone or Christmas Vacation? Because I think that's going to win over all of these.
Yeah, this is between the two kahunas, my love. You should have started without a kahuna. I'm sorry.
I'm going to list the other ones and you can tell me. The Holiday.
Love it, but mostly for myself. Also, Jude Law.
Oh,
he can look at me like that any day.
The eyeballs.
Have you seen the memes on social media where like women are watching the holiday and every time Jude Law makes like eye contact with the camera, they're like blushing?
Yes.
I mean, he does it feels like he wants to date me, not
It's
Cameron
amazing.
Diaz.
No, it's amazing.
But I love the holiday, but I usually watch it on my own. It's not like a family movie.
This is true.
So no.
White Christmas.
Hands down.
Wait a minute. Let me go back to our last. We still don't have an answer. Home Alone versus Christmas Vacation. Who wins?
Christmas Vacation.
Wow. We
There's
got a
layered
knockout.
stories in there. There's more family. People thought I was Audrey when I was younger.
Oh, that's right.
But no, like literally people think I look like Juliette Louis
Yeah.
Dreyfus.
No.
Not Juliette Lewis.
Yes.
Juliette Lewis.
Do you think?
People have said that to me.
Interesting.
And I used to get upset about it.
Bennett's going to put a picture of Juliette Lewis on the...
Yeah. Now she did date Brad Pitt, so that's my hope.
What was that movie they were in together? Good Lord.
Oh, something about killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Okay, Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, my gosh. Ew.
Dead to me.
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Isn't that a Thanksgiving movie?
Is that more Thanksgiving? Are they trying to get home for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Thanksgiving. So I always put that up until Thanksgiving.
And then you move over to Christmas
If
Vacation.
you want to call it a Christmas movie, I would still put it behind Christmas Vacation.
Whoa.
But I strongly feel like it's a Thanksgiving movie. And have you watched that movie recently? At the end, Steve Martin is simply like 2 days late for his flight.
Yeah.
And when he gets home, the way him and his wife, they look at each other as though he has just come home from his third tour in Afghanistan. And he's missing, and all love to all of our veterans, but
Yes.
he's been wounded at war.
He's only been gone for a couple days.
He found out that after years being gone, missing at war, she took a lover, and they've worked it out through their letters that they've been sending back and forth snail mail style
Across the ocean.
She's been home pining for him, wondering will he ever take her back after her torrid affair. He only looked at her picture to get out of the bunkers.
That's
with
right.
Just 3 of his 4 limbs.
That's this one thing
And he
kept.
finally got home after the entire government thought he was gone. And he got home, and the way they locked eyes, we did it.
But it's just a business trip.
Guys, he was 2 days late from a business trip. There were slow crocodile tears. There was hugs
It was.
It was such a dramatic reunion.
And that was a precursor to Home Alone, don't you think?
Definitely.
That whole vibe of the house,
Definitely. I think it was the same house, by the way.
I think it was too.
And that house is for sale now, and they completely modernized the interior.
It's like $4 million, $4 or $5 million.
Yeah, but I understand the people who live there probably I don't want to live in a movie set.
Oh, you
But
want them
don't you
to
think
do
it
it.
would sell for more if it would have been kept as the original Home Alone house?
Somebody did that to Prince's house from Purple Rain.
What'd they do?
They made it like the movie. So the interiors were never shot in that house, but they revamped the house. Exactly what you're saying.
Have you taken a tour of it?
No, you can do an Airbnb. You can stay there.
Maybe we should stay there for our live event.
I love this
Everybody,
idea.
shack up at Prince's house.
That's the name of our...
Rain. Well,
All right, hold on. I'm going back.
Wait, just so you know,
Who's
when
winning?
John or I are late from a business trip, we just hey girl, what's up?
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah. Watch the end of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and watch the way they reunite.
We're gonna pull it up.
It's quite impressive,
All right.
that reunion. That is some special type of love if that's how you greet each other at the door after being 2 days late from a business trip.
I love it.
Yeah.
And is John Candy with them? Did he join them?
Yeah. And then so they look at each other I can't believe we made it through this.
That's right. Through the war.
Wow. What kept us together was our connection, our
And I brought a
passion.
friend.
And then he steps aside and John Candy's standing there with his trunk.
That's right.
Yep.
You know this movie better than I thought.
Well.
Okay, so that's still behind Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
then?
because it's a Thanksgiving movie. But
Christmas Vacation up against any of the stop motion animatronic, Rudolph, Santa Claus Coming to Town, or Frosty.
Oh, I love those. It's still Christmas Vacation, but those are fantastic.
But that is a close second.
We put those on when we were decorating the tree.
They're
It's
so cute.
I know. It's so good.
Yeah, that is, and that's good nostalgia.
It is good nostalgia.
All right, now Love Actually.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
I know.
What character would you want to play on Love Actually?
You know who I love is when the friend is in love with Keira Knightley.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, after he shows up at the door with the words, like it's like I've always had a crush on you. No, wrong. Back up. At his house when she goes over with like a pastry of some sort to find the video of the wedding.
And she discovers.
And she realizes that he's in love with her.
Yeah.
I think it is absolute masterpiece. Whoever did the soundtrack to that, he leaves and they start playing that song. I won't go down with this. Oh, shoot. So I won't throw my heart out.
Yes.
And surrender.
Yes.
Immediately when I started singing, Becky's eyes were like, no, don't do it. The way that song started and crescendoed and then it hit right when he kind of like bent down and grabbed his head.
Yes.
Every time it does something to my soul.
No, it's powerful.
But that guy's a great guy. You want to play him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great role.
I want to be they call her chubby with like the thicker legs. And she's not with the bangs.
The secretary.
Who ends up getting with the prime minister.
Yes.
I can't think of her name.
No, great.
But I think her role is outstanding.
And she has the crazy family.
And I wouldn't mind giving a hug to Hugh Grant at that time in his life. Now I think he's a little angry old man.
A little bit smart.
But at that time I wouldn't have minded.
And that is another tie-in to The Holiday. That whole bit about The Office is very much like like Love Actually.
Now I do want to let you know that when Colin goes to Wisconsin, how would you say it?
We're back to the
I didn't mean that.
Lucky
I didn't mean that. That just happened. When Colin goes, how do you say Wisconsin the way he does?
Wisconsin.
Yes. And goes to the bar with those girls.
Yes.
I grew up in that type of neighborhood, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen to you.
Right.
I'm not. So if anybody's listening to this across the pond, I'm not saying that that's too far from reality.
Don't rule it out.
Yeah. How
Keep
do you say
hope
table?
alive.
Table.
That's right.
Okay, so that is a good movie, but we're going to go with National Lampoon still. Are you with me on all these, or have you been to
Christmas Vacation is still winning, but I know that it holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah,
so Polar Express is dead to you.
No, I love Polar Express, but yeah.
Still dead.
I one time put my tap shoes on and did the whole hot chocolate scene for the kids.
Oh, I do love that song.
Yeah.
Hot Chocolate is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey.
It's at the bottom of my list.
Hate.
I want the original. Don't you?
Oh, you want the, okay.
The original, like.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Jingle All the Way.
That's a great movie, and heads up, filmed here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
So ties to it, but yeah, it's still.
Kid doesn't make it.
No.
Jack Frost, I can't imagine.
I don't even know what that movie is.
Michael
I've never seen
Keaton.
it.
It's because Michael Keaton's amazing.
Okay.
I'm going to skip some of these. Family Stone.
Don't know
That's
what
a
that
Sarah
is.
Jessica Parker.
Okay.
Great. I'm going to skip some of these, and I'm going to go right down to the big knockout round.
Okay. What is it?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
It's Christmas Vacation versus White Christmas. This is it. This is the big one.
White Christmas.
I know.
Is fantastic.
Yeah.
The only scene that I have any issue with is when they do the contemporary dance. I feel like that was kind of like a fill-in. Like that was a last minute fill-in.
They're talking da-da-da-da-da. What is it?
They're in the purple.
Yes.
And they're like doing choreography.
That's what it is. They're doing choreography.
But that dance, as a trained dancer, the only thing I've ever been trained in, some of that dancing from those years ago, I'm like,
it's got to be Bob Fosse.
Really good stuff.
You know where else they did it? I went to see American in Paris, and there's the whole second half is like a dream sequence
really
of that dancing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But that's a little over. I mean, it's many, many, many minutes too long.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen it. So I want to give, as the young kids would say, all the flowers to White Christmas. But you guys, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation
we have
wins
a
for
winner.
me.
Okay.
Wins for me. What about you? We didn't even knock them out, but if you had to choose a top holiday movie.
I don't know. How do you even decide?
Well, this is how
Stop
I decided.
Motion.
But
you had to knock out
Christmas Vacation includes the entire family.
That's true.
It's relatable in like how magical they should be, but also
the reality of it.
Yes, it's got great humor. When Clark is at the lingerie counter, log, as in you log, not that I have a log. I mean, I still laugh out loud to that.
It is good.
But it's also heartwarming.
Yes.
You know, Cousin Eddie shows up and he reminds Catherine to get the rubber sheets out of the Every bit of it, it's heartwarming. It's got a good story. It's relatable. It's funny.
It is. It's all the things.
And if you pay attention, so we watch it so passively now.
Right.
But if you sit down and watch it, there's always little nuances that I feel like you could miss out on for years and pick up on. Like when all the grandparents arrive, if you listen to the little mini stories happening, like
when they're fighting
I've
internally.
got a corn on my heel, I'll give you a quarter if you rub it. You know, if you really listen, it is hysterical undertone. Like there is always a big joke and like a few little jokes happening at the same time.
Yeah, I love this.
So I'm going to go with Christmas Vacation. You asked me how I would choose. That's how I chose. But you have to name one and you have to name it. You don't get to choose death. You have to name one.
If I looked through my whole list, I really like Christmas Vacation. I think.
Is it Die Hard for you?
It's not Die Hard. Elf is one I'm having a hard time getting rid of.
It's so good.
I love Elf.
Do you know my boys think Elf is overrated?
What?
I like Elf more than all three of my boys. Isn't that wild?
I love
think
Jon
Elf
Favreau. I love anything he does.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I like Will Ferrell. One time I ate dinner next to him in New York City.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this story.
There's nothing to tell other than I stared at.
I just told it. I had dinner.
That is the story. We were at it was like 4 acres or 5 acres, something. I think it was in the West Village. And me and my girlfriends went and sat down and he was across the way. And I just stared at him like a lunatic.
Did you do anything weird and stalkery?
One of my girlfriends was pregnant at the time. And so she was saying funny pregnant things.
The pregnant friends have been a real recurring theme here.
Yeah. So, no, we just stared at him. I didn't feel... There are certain celebrities who I think I'd walk right up to and be like, love your work.
See, I say that I would, but we saw Kevin Costner in Aspen. This is 1,000 years ago. And I took my knife and did this. Like you can see, I used it like a little reflector.
See behind it?
Yeah.
Did he notice that? Did you say hi to him?
No, but I mean, it was creepily.
Yes.
Clearly we were all
like just
fawning over.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's, I'm at a bachelorette party. We were in Las Vegas. This is a side note. And, Bob Saget was there, R.I.P. R.I.P. Danny Tanner. And he walked into the club and we like screamed and ran at him, but he like loved it. He was drinking a screwdriver at night.
Amazing.
In a club.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can tell, I think, there's
If
certain
they're
people who
open.
would love, like you could tell he wasn't like behind a velvet rope. He was with the pedestrians.
Down with the people.
So we ran straight at him and was like, we love your work in Full House.
And who doesn't love like cute girls?
Yeah, and he was lovely. He was so kind. He took pictures. He was really nice. But I think like the Will Ferrells of the world seriously are like, I need to be able to eat alone. And I want to try to respect that.
I can't imagine that level of fame. I really cannot.
Neither can I. I mean, I experienced it in my driveway doing cartwheels. But not since then. Not since the 80s.
When you're measuring your success by horn hunks.
Yes. And if any children are listening to this, that is not the way to measure your success. It's not going to set you up for a bright future. So please do not follow in my footsteps. The good news is about Christmas movies. You can't get a bad one.
No, they're all.
And I haven't even gotten into like the Hallmark movies.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you do any of that? Any of the Lifetime?
No, I wish I would, but I don't. Do you?
Mm-mm.
I hear they're good.
I don't have enough time. Like when I sit down to do this, like I'm still in the craziness of trying to get ready.
Yes, because
this is like the fun time when you can like relax and turn a movie on.
Yes, exactly. So any movie you choose, no offense to any of the movies we didn't, but is Elf your number one?
I think it's, as I look down, I mean, honestly, you guys, it's tough. It's really tough. The old Miracle on 34th Street with Natalie Wood.
You know what you didn't put on your list?
What?
4 Christmases.
Which one is that?
It's Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn.
Wait. Yes, I do love that one.
I thought that would be like your humor with Father Phil.
I love him. I love Vince Vaughn.
I do too. Now, I love him from a comedic perspective and a snuggle perspective.
Totally.
There's something about his confidence. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
He is.
I get it.
No, that would be on
I think he's happily married, and so am I.
Well, God bless everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, God bless us, everyone. But
yes, especially this holiday season.
He's got the juice.
He does.
He's got the juice.
Well, that was a great little,
That was a little warm up. Yeah.
I know we wanted to talk about today how the show must go on.
Yeah.
We were inspired. So thank you for all the great feedback. Like I said at the top of this, nobody's giving harsher feedback than the two of us, but so many people have given such nice feedback. And I have
really
a story
kind.
remind me to tell you a story at the end of this.
Okay.
But Becky and I were talking about, a lot of people have said we want to know more about where you work and like what you do. I forget because we've been in home shopping for so long that it is a really unique niche type of work.
Yes.
Very few people do it. It's so, we're so used to it that we forget that it still is such a bizarre industry to work in.
No, it's crazy.
And this weekend, literally, as we said earlier, my microphone attached to Becky's, her boob. I don't know a better way to say it. It just attached directly to it. And there was nothing we could do but just shuffle off in a hug.
I had to like focus on it to get it done. We couldn't really do that on air.
No, because then it would be looking like we were groping each other. And that is being held for our OnlyFans account if everything else goes to poo. So we were talking about how one of the biggest things that I think people either don't understand or don't know in our industry, live, unscripted, is the show must always go on. No matter what is happening. There are so many crazy things that have happened to us and you're going to keep going. Oh, you got to keep moving. And we're talking about, we'll tell you a bunch of stories about this, but we were thinking about you too. Like this happens to everybody where you're in the thick of it. You're late for work because your dog did this or your kid did that. But ours is a little bit different because you can't call in. You can't call in and say, I'll be 30 minutes late. We never work from home. No. We can't. There's no Zooming. We can't ask for, a meeting to be pushed 15 minutes. Like it's going to start. Yeah. Whether you got your lashes glued on or not. What's your latest running out when they're like, when the producer will say, okay, 1 minute to break? Yeah. So just so you know, when we're starting our shows, the hosts and the guests, they have earpieces in and the director and the producer have the ability to speak to you. Yeah. So I don't put mine in until about 5 minutes before because I really don't want to get distracted. I have a hard time focusing with all that anyway. Noise. Yeah. So I try to really stay clear and focus on the show at hand. And then I get my ear in and they'll say, okay, 1 minute to break. My latest has been, you guys, I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to make a minute. I'm like, I need you guys figure out something. I need 2 minutes. Because you could be leaving another show. She could have been in full glam for a jewelry show and then has to go sell a Wagner spray painter or something. Well, yeah, sometimes you're moving studios, you're moving sets, you're moving even like clearing the way I would like to present, a $3,000 diamond ring is a completely different way than I would present, a Wagner spray paint machine. Mm-hmm. And so you're even just turning your brain, like just as the studio or set switches, your brain switches. Yeah. But like at the top of one of my shows, let's be very clear. If all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I'm not going to be able to wait 3 hours before I go to the bathroom again. Right. I'm in the bathroom on a mic. Yeah. Like, hey guys, I need another minute, please. Have you ever done like a walk and talk in? All the time. Yes. So you guys, the shot would be of like this right now. Erin's not here. I'm not actually in the studio. She's just making her way and talking. And the producer's in my ear saying, okay, on screen now. Evan's on screen now wearing the blue jacket. And then I talk about the blue jacket, which is why we prep so hard. Yeah. Because I'm walking without a note or anything talking about it. But no. I know what you're going to say. I love Becky so much. I like the stress of it, honestly. I really like surrounding myself with people who raise me up, and every part of her makes me a better human being. But this one, I really push it. She pushes it to the nth degree. We're getting ready to go on air. I'm in studio. I've talked with the director and producer about the open. I got the cameras are on, the lights are on, the crew's got the camera right here. And I'm like, please back up. I'm not a model. I'm like, has anyone seen Becky? Is Becky here? Do you guys know if Becky's going to be ready for the open? This one? Yeah. Why? What is it? What is the barrier for you even being there 10 seconds before we go live? I really like being a little freaked out. Okay. I like running down the hall. Okay. I like the, I don't do any drugs per se, but I sort of get it. I kind of get it. Yep. Yep. That brings me into the space of the energy. And by the way, it's usually just for that show that I like to do that. Okay. So what I'm hearing from you. Just do it to her. You like to be late. You only do it to me. You're going to have a heart attack. Yeah. And I am in there just on fire. Every Saturday morning. I came in on time last week. Because I sent you like 6 notes. Yeah. And I'm like, hey. That's right. Hey, are you in the building? Hey, we're going to come to work today. But I guess that is the sign of great friendship because you can only do it to a good friend and stay friends after that.
So we're talking about energy level. And
my energy.
Well, I mean, that is really a challenge though, because you have different guests they're going to bring different energy, but you yourself have to be the through line of energy. And that's a really long time to maintain.
So I'm not saying everybody has unique challenges in their own career. In my career, what sometimes people don't understand is that my biggest concern are the viewers.
Yes.
I want to make sure everybody A, understands how much we love and respect them. B, I'm giving them enough information to make an educated purchase.
Yeah.
But beyond my relationship with the viewers, we have guests.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy if you are just meeting us. Becky and I do the same thing, but we have different roles in what we do.
Right.
So her job is to be a product expert. My job is to ensure you all know how it works,
right,
basically. So I could have up to 4 of you in the studio at one time, and then the crew, and then people talking in your ear.
Producer and director, for sure.
So you are, when you're on air as a guest, you're probably having 3 conversations. One with the viewers, one with the host, and one with the crew.
Yeah.
And as a host, you're managing all of that plus some.
Yeah.
Because you also have your notes from the buyers. You have,
models on set.
You have the models on set so I love it. But sometimes when people are like, oh, that was a little like, oh, was that chaotic? Or did you have enough energy there? I'm like, you've no idea what it takes to wrangle that. And there's help. The crew is helping to wrangle it, but it's in a different light.
Completely.
It's like a completely different.
An hour 8 versus, let's add another hour of wake up.
Right. And it's commercial free. There are no commercials. There are no breaks.
Right.
And if you do, what's nice about having Becky there is I can leave to use the ladies' room if I need to change. And that's with our other fashion guests too. But you'll have brand new people out there who have never been on television.
Cannot leave then.
You'll have founders or CEOs of companies who they're fabulous they know everything, but they've never looked into a camera. You cannot leave them.
Right.
Or we have guests who Skype in from Europe. I can't leave because Skype will go down or I'm their only connection.
Right.
So it's unique.
But we have heard stories, and we'll have to, I don't know if I should say names, but a host who we've worked with, who's currently working still, will tell a story about a stomach bug. And it decided to hit in the middle of a jewelry show.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be gross, but she just had a bucket to the side.
Yeah.
And then she had to continue presenting because there was there was no other person that was going to step in.
Yes. So without names, between everyone we know, we've thrown up on air.
Yes.
100%. Had lady problems on air.
Bled out, totally.
Literally had a damage out product. Mm-hmm. One time, the camera was directly on me and my nose was running so bad. And I don't know if the crew couldn't see it.
Oh, no.
Or because they also get distracted with stuff.
Sure.
There's a lot happening.
But no one said anything?
No. So I just dove out of the side. I just dove off to an empty camera. I once had a woman freeze. She was new. Especially these small businesses, this is a great opportunity for them to share their story, their business, their product. There was a woman in the beauty category. She was so nervous and she froze and she couldn't move.
Oh, no.
And the team couldn't come back and take a shot because she was literally catatonic staring into the camera.
Do you guys remember the Brady Bunch when Cindy, the red light, she was at the spelling bee?
Yes.
And she just froze. That's what this woman did.
Yes. So I had no option. I was in a high heel and a cute little dress. I got behind her. I did a grand plie and I wrapped my arms around her waist and I picked her up and I shuffled her off the side of the set.
You had to.
It was it. The show must go on. About 4 months ago, I had a migraine creep up the back of my neck and I was working with Becky and I was laying on a couch just talking into my microphone. I couldn't keep going. It was so difficult, but the show had to go on.
But honestly, what do you do when you have a headache? You lay down, you take a minute, you cancel your appointment. You are still on air.
Yeah, and it was bad.
Yeah.
I don't really get migraines, but that was such a bad one.
Does it come up your neck? Is that what happened?
I could feel it coming up the back of my neck.
Oh my gosh.
So I had a dull headache when I was prepping for the show.
Yeah.
And then when we were about to go live, I told our producer it was Tom at the time. I was like, Tom, something funny's happening in my head.
Yeah.
And then we were going to like a halfway in, and I was just laying on the couch, but you can't, until there's a solution of somebody jumping in for you.
Yeah.
Or,
and you still have to be able to communicate it somehow. Like, you know, you're still in the middle of a live show, so she's got to turn her mic off, go tell somebody like, hey, we might need to come up with a solution here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And we did. He ended up, you took over.
Yeah.
They hauled me out of there. And you just finished this show, thank God. But if it wasn't you, I don't know what we would have done.
Honestly, I mean, it is one of those jobs where there is just like very little room for error. But you've seen the great crashes, like the Kaitana sword guy, you know.
Sliced his finger.
I don't mean to laugh. It's just one of those, like, it's in the GOAT Hall of Fame.
If you've been watching our home shopping channel for a while, you might remember this. And if you have never watched us, that's okay. I'll tell you the story. Prior to COVID, the pandemic.
Right. Remember?
I got to say it every time, just in case you don't know. Prior to the pandemic, we used to broadcast a ton all over the world.
Yeah.
We actually had a studio in Los Angeles that I was at a lot. Yeah. And then we would call them remotes, where we would broadcast remotely, oftentimes from really pretty locations. It just made for such a beautiful set. And we had a really strong team at that time who could really basically broadcast in any remote location.
Ireland, Italy,
all over the Caribbean, a ton in Florida. We had a permanent set in LA. I mean, they had a set in, I think I can say her name. They set up a remote set in Paula Deen's house back in the day. Right. We had one in Atlanta for the short-lived show with Shaquille.
That's right.
That I did. Again, pandemic ruined that.
Was that his house, or was that like a Tyler Perry kind of?
No, we were at a studio, like a kitchen studio when we were live together. And then we did Skype for a little bit from his home. Okay. But of course, Skype is difficult when you're cooking and whatever. But he was a lovely man. We have to do a whole episode on how kind that man is. Yeah. But anyway, one time we were broadcasting live from a cruise ship and they found this remote island, like literally is uninhabited island. And they're like, wouldn't it be beautiful to do the fashions on the beach overlooking the cruise ship?
Amazing.
And they set it all up. It was beautiful. Guys, we were on a ferry with like swells of waves coming over onto us from the ferry, from the cruise ship to the island on a ferry. We have a whole crew. We have the clothes with us. I'm in full hair and makeup. I've got a mic on me.
And electrical everywhere.
Yes. We get to the island and we get set up and we're about to open the show and everything crashes.
Oh my gosh.
Everything crashes. I felt so bad for our crew because they had tested it over and over again. It worked. We get there, it crashes. And with Sam Saboris, Sarah Skilrude, we get back on the ferry. Yeah. And we're ferrying back to a cruise ship. But the show continues to go on.
It has to.
So they're cutting to other pieces. They're cutting back to tape. Yeah. They're cutting to live stuff on the studio, on the cruise ship. And then when we get back to the cruise ship, I've just taken 2 ferry rides in rough water, barefoot on the beach, covered in seawater. And I'm right back up on deck 3.
On we go.
And we're at the mini golf set doing
like nothing changed.
No, totally.
It's so crazy to think about that. And you have to be smooth. You have to be composed.
Well, I don't know if anyone would call me smooth or composed, but thank you.
The time that Erin jumped into the pool with your mic on.
I did jump into a pool once. It was hot. It was so hot. One time, and I don't, just so you guys know, there's some, you know how everybody has a thing they don't like to talk about. I'm a pretty open book, but I don't like bodily function. Right. I don't like bathroom humor, but I will tell you this because we're all friends. One time we were on set and it was right when keto coffee became really popular. And I didn't know anything about keto coffee. And I had a 2-hour show in the hot sun and I was just drinking the keto coffee. Like if I don't like it, if I don't like it, I don't like to present it. The keto coffee was delicious.
You guys know this. Anytime there's food, you have to eat it. I mean, you have to really be.
Of course.
You couldn't speak knowledgeably about it without it.
So I was just sipping my keto coffee. I didn't know what keto coffee could do to you. So at the end of 2 hours in 90-degree Florida heat, 2 hours full of keto coffee.
Oh my gosh.
I almost never went back to work. What happened after those 2 hours?
We won't speak of it.
I almost quit my job. I said, I can't look these people in the eye. What has happened? It was so upsetting.
Were you dashing, running?
I was running, but it was a conservative run to make sure accidents
What
happen.
did you have on?
white Kate and Mallory jeans with like the little crochet lace. I remember I had an orange short sleeve shirt on. Could be poppy red to the viewer's eye.
Yeah.
I had the white Kate and Mallory jeans that had the cute little crochet cuff.
Darling.
And then I had a Ron White silver slip-on shoe. By the way, Ron White shoes, so good.
This is like, do you know any golfers in your life where they can tell you that they golfed Torrey Pines 20 years ago and they can walk you through the dogleg left on, whatever hole? Listen to that. She's telling in a complete outfit.
Well, it's one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. I mean, I don't always appear business professional, but I'm a business lady. I'm a professional woman. I met this man for the first time. We drank 2 hours worth of keto coffee. Nobody warned me. Nobody gave me a warning. The year was 2018.
Wait, it's not supposed to. That's not the benefit of it. It's drinking it nonstop for 2 hours.
I think, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think drinking it full on. In hindsight, we could have faked the funk. I could have had one keto and then gone into my regular coffee because I drink regular coffee all day long.
Right.
But anyway, I almost quit my job.
Oh my gosh.
But I knew what was happening when I was on air.
Yeah.
And there was nowhere to go.
And you could hear it.
Like the last half hour, I was like, this is bad. This is terrible. I was thinking through what other jobs could I go into? What other professions? I knew in that last half hour.
Where people could actually go to the bathroom.
And I was sending notes to our visual at the time. Her name was Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need you to get me off this set as soon as possible.
And she knows exactly why.
That's the only time any of that has ever happened. And you'll never hear me speak of it again. And because we're friends, I'll tell you. But you do not repeat that to anybody and you do not tell anybody. And we don't speak of potty humor after that. It's not even humor to me. It's so traumatic.
Not ever.
And we were in like shared spaces. It was, when you're in a remote, you're often constructing your set. It's not.
No, it's trailers and.
Yes.
Remote locations.
It's trailers. It's outdoors. It's tents. It's porta potties. It's other people's homes that you find yourself breaking down their front door and screaming, get out of my way. It's crying and screaming, please somebody help.
Oh my God.
Why didn't anyone warn me?
I just think I want to know what the girls, like what your worst day at work is. Like,
well, okay, so that's what Becky and I were talking about too, is this feeds into all other professions.
Yes.
Did you just say, do you crap your slacks?
I don't know. Could have happened. Could have happened to anybody.
Well, everybody has that moment where you're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
I am stuck.
Yeah. But the show has to go on. And I think what this profession teaches us, but also in real life, your show has to go on. And especially around the holidays, you're probably overly tired. You're probably sick. You're probably sick and tired of spending that extra money.
Yeah.
You got to keep plowing through.
And you do it for other people because you've got to be the holiday joy bringer. You've got to bring,
you're the maestro.
Yes.
You're the holiday maestro.
The mamas are the ones that really, and what's interesting? I don't know who's listening. Little ears,
my
maybe
mom.
not. Oh, Teresa, you're okay with this. But little ears, maybe not so much. When you have kids, I remember like telling my older son how he could help me or help Santa.
Yeah.
And that's like when you kind of realize you're the adults aren't coming. There are no adults coming.
No, that's the part.
You have to do all of the magic making.
It's a big lot, you guys. Yeah. I can see why my champagne sales go up in my household. But it is, and you don't get to say, like, you don't get to miss those deadlines.
No.
And I think that all of us ladies need to be easy on ourselves.
Yes, especially this time of year.
But I also think we need to acknowledge it and share it with each other.
Yes.
Because one of the things that I think, we talk about this word a lot, and I don't know, we talk about toxic positivity a lot. I think we should choose optimism. I think we should choose to be positive. I think we should choose to see the best.
Yeah.
But I also think we have to be real.
Oh,
and
amen.
And like toxic, positivity, toxic productivity.
That you can get it all done.
It's a lie. Every single one of us is up against the clock.
Yeah.
Every single one of us has a story of needing to use the bathroom when we couldn't get there, completely flubbing up and not knowing where to go next, embarrassing ourselves. Anybody who says they don't or presents as though they don't, it's a lie. And I think the best thing we can do for each other is be honest about those moments.
That's what we try to do.
Because I think we feel better about ourselves. And not just us, but all of you listening. Don't you think?
Being real is our probably biggest thing, is that, yes, we go on TV. It's lashes, it's hair, it's makeup, it's all of those things. But at the heart of it, it's all still like everybody else's work.
But I'm still having a bathroom emergency.
You're right.
We are still having people throw up on set.
But we talked about this. If you go on Instagram or TikTok or any of these, like, if do you want to do the influencer thing, it is not what you think it is. It isn't this beautiful woman who, has this incredible closet at all hours of all the days.
Yes.
It's a team of people, likely.
Like the really big influencers have a full team.
You have to.
It is not just them. They have a team.
If they're cooking, somebody else prepped.
They have agent representation. They have management.
Yes.
So yes, there's people prepping for them, cooking for them, helping them. Not to say that they're not working hard by any means.
Right.
But like, that is not just some person flipping on their camera. It is highly produced.
Yeah, that's the way to say it.
It is highly produced.
Yeah.
It is highly intentional. It is their
edited
career.
within an inch of its life.
Correct.
If there's one misstep, it doesn't make it.
Correct. So the idea that everybody else is effortlessly getting through the holidays, their work day, the show we're doing.
But do you know, moms, I remember when the kids were little, where I would be like, I don't know how she does it. Like, there's a book called I Don't Know How She Does It. She's like, she's baking the cookies and she's running the teams and she's working in it as a CEO. And like, it's impossible to do all of the things and do them well.
Well, I think people are doing it, but they're not doing it without massive missteps.
Yes.
Massive, everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
They're just not sharing that or showing that. You're not seeing that. And so something Becky and I talk about all the time is we just want to be transparent about it. We just want to be transparent and help everybody else be transparent, because then I think it makes you feel better. And I think it brings some levity. Is that the right word?
Totally.
To when things don't go your way, when the Christmas card doesn't work out perfect, when the holiday meal feels like you're going to put your head through a window.
Yeah.
Guess what? Everybody is.
It's so true.
And when you feel like you're in it together, it just feels so much easier to manage.
Yeah.
So when
the paella doesn't turn out
that happens to everybody. And the influencers, we've had the social media discussion before. I actually love social media. I like watching influencers to literally get ideas and be influenced and be inspired by.
For sure.
But I have a healthy mindset in knowing that that's a full team behind them.
Yeah.
It's a full production behind them. And I'm just there to get ideas for myself, not to want to be them.
Not to measure up against.
And I also know, because we have a unique perspective in how we're in this industry.
Right.
We also know that that's not just casually flipping on a phone.
Oh my
and
gosh.
taking. Now there are some people who are truly, really like, I love Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
I think she truly just flips a camera on herself, has a visit, and shuts it back
Stream
off.
of consciousness. Yeah.
Totally. So there are people, but it is evident. The big, gorgeous, glamorous moments, that's been produced, and that's great. But they also have problems.
Yeah.
They also have issues.
Yes.
And the moral of the story is, as we go through the holiday season and beyond, when things seem impossible and when mishaps happen, just know that the show's going to go on. You're going to get through it.
And stay focused on the right stuff, which is just your people, right? I mean, the food,
and laugh
you'll
at
figure
yourself.
out.
Laugh at yourself. Laugh at it. Be honest. There are women, I think, that I've met along the way in our community or through other jobs or whatever, who really want to paint a perfect picture. It is super important to them to paint this perfect picture.
Yikes.
And that's okay if that's what you want. If you want this perfect lifestyle and you want everyone to believe that there's nothing perfect or everything's perfect and nothing ever goes wrong.
Oh gosh.
If that's what makes you happy, I guess that's okay. I just think that's impossible to keep up with.
Right.
I think it's crazy making.
Yeah, it is.
And if you're somebody out there permanently putting this positive, like everything's perfect, I think one day you're going to crash and burn or have a nervous breakdown.
Well, right. I mean, it's just it's a math thing. It's just not going to, there's too many variables. Your kids are going to, screw up. I'm not going to swear, but.
Oh, Becky. So we have listened back with a critical ear and we know everything we need to work on. Plus
potty mouth on
but
this
Becky's
one.
worried about her really intense potty mouth. I didn't notice you had a potty mouth. as much.
A little bit. I mean, I was just going to say F up, but I decided
you can
against
say
it.
F up.
I can do one of these.
When Becky plays that noise, it means the F word. Okay? But yeah, people who paint these perfect pictures, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on you.
Let it go.
But come on now. The show must go on.
And by the way, who are you trying to impress? I mean, is it for yourself? It's important for you to be perfect, or is it important for you to think that other people think you're perfect?
Yeah, I don't know. And this could all just be the two of us making excuses for being so less than perfect. If you're a therapist, let us know how that...
Honestly, though, I mean, I think it's a good friend of mine said, you can have it all, just not at the same time. You say this.
Yep.
The house being perfect, the wardrobe being perfect, amazing cook, rock star kids, work great at work, like all of these things, amazing wife, friend. I mean, holy God, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you can do your level best, but man, we've got to ease up on the pressure.
Yes. That's why we like to just talk about the non-perfect things.
Feels so good.
And that's why, we actually celebrate when the show must go on, all the mishaps behind the scenes, running in late, having a guest that doesn't know what's going on,
being stuck
getting
together,
sick, physically getting stuck together. I mean, I've had demonstrations go totally bad.
Well, you can hear it all the time. Like the other day, something slipped out of someone's hand and it sounded like
and it fell and it sounded like a big crash.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. To me, I like to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Look at, I love the acknowledgement of everything's not perfect.
I think it's more fun to watch too. I mean, that's why we like live TV.
In live TV and in life.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great to know the real story behind, what was actually happening there.
Yeah.
Whether, whatever it's family or friends or whatever. And not to say that some things don't go off without a hitch. I mean,
well,
I can't think about the last thing in my life that went off perfectly.
Oh my gosh. I don't ever strive for it. So it's like, I don't mean to sound like I have low expectations. It's not that.
You have very high expectations.
I like excellence. I like things to be done really well, but I also don't think I melt down if it's like.
You don't melt down. You are not
a
a meltdowner. Now, once in a while, we can get a little. I
might say the F word.
Sometimes we have to get things off our chest to each other.
Yes.
But it's not like a public meltdown.
No, it's just do you have friends like this where you just have to hash it out, work it out, and then
footsie with you.
More toe work.
You. We know where we're ultimately going with all of this, guys.
Okay, you mentioned that you had a nice little feedback. Little moment.
Yeah, I don't mean to be am I being too preachy on this podcast?
Is this a very special holiday episode?
I don't mean to be too preachy, but I do think that one thing that you and I have done well is found real friendship in real relationships in real moments. And I think if we can do anything, it's to help other people know that being real is probably your superpower.
Yes.
And just being real with that. Authentically. And when we say the show must go on, we also celebrate why the show got halted. So I don't mean to be too preachy, but I really think we have great experience in that.
Yeah.
But the other thing that is going to sound a little preachy maybe, but I was brought to tears.
Oh no.
So, Becky and I, hi, it's us.
Hi.
As we told you, if you've been listening to this podcast for the past few weeks, we had a few people say you should do podcasts and we said, all right.
Yeah. I
never realized, because we are on live TV for the past 10 years.
Right.
I've had other television shows that I worked on. I'm forward facing on social media, definitely. And I've never really felt too vulnerable. Again, it's just, we're just ourselves. Publishing this podcast, I felt vulnerable.
It's pretty personal.
Well, the first few episodes were, silly stories about ourselves or whatever. And it just felt like a different intimacy. And I, for one of the few times in my life was really like, gosh, should we have done that? It feels like a big jump to me. Yeah. But I also think it's the right path for us.
Because it's not like work. This is just us.
Well, it is. And it is an extension. It's also an extension of something we've built over the last decade. Yeah. And so I want to make sure we're always doing right by our Saturday morning show.
Absolutely.
We built the Saturday morning show together and it has been so successful in so many different ways. Number one, bringing such a great community together that the entire reason of this podcast was an extension of that show. And I want to do that show justice.
Right.
I want to only add to the value of that show. And, so you do look inward and you do think, am I doing everything right?
Yeah.
Okay. And life is right on time all the time. And we've talked about magnetic energy. So anyway, I was just in my head about things like, I want to, is this right or whatever? And no sooner did I start kind of swirling in my head.
Yeah.
A text message popped up from a friend, and I'm hoping she'll be listening to this. Her name's Gina. I won't say her last name.
Okay.
And she is a dear, sweet, lovable friend, but we haven't probably seen each other with our eyes in 15 years.
Really?
We met when...
She's from home? She's from...
Nope. We met cheering for the Vikings together.
Okay, cute.
And ironically, her husband I had known in high school through other friends.
I love this.
So I have deep roots with them.
Yeah.
And they are the kindest couple. And even though we don't see each other and hang out, again, another reason I like social media, I stay up to date on everything that's happening with their beautiful family. He is a very talented photographer, and I get to see all of his work, and so excited for them. And out of nowhere, we normally keep up with each other on DMs on social media.
Yeah.
I get a text from her, and there is no text string from us. That's how long it's been since we've texted. Okay. Yeah. And she said, I just want to let you know, I listened to your podcast and I was laughing so hard. Well, I could read it. Oh, no, I can't. My phone's over there. This isn't verbatim. I was laughing so hard. I thought it was so great. I think you're amazing. Oh. And I just shared it and told everybody to listen.
Oh, my gosh.
And I don't want to be sappy.
I love this.
To me, people that celebrate your most vulnerable moments or your scariest moments, that is who I want around me.
Yeah.
I started to cry because it was exactly like the little whisper I needed.
Yes.
And it came from, I would call her a dear friend my whole life, but somebody we haven't spoke.
Yeah.
We haven't texted in years. And she says it from her and her husband, and they cheer me on no matter what the crazy stuff is. They cheer me on. They ride or die. And I hope I do that for them. I hope that I'm always encouraging them.
Yeah.
But first of all, thank you, Gina. I love you. It meant so much to me.
Yes.
And, we've had great feedback. So many people have been like, that was great. Yay. But for somebody like that to reach out and to cheer you on when you're just starting something new, those are my people. It
is magic. Right? And to not just have that experience and then forget to share it. The fact that I love, Gina, that you loved it, but that you also reached out. Because I think sometimes we have thoughts in our head, but we don't act on it.
Yes.
That meant everything.
Yes. And I have had this happen before. Not with my bestie friends from kindergarten and college, but my good friends from adulthood or, post 18 or whatever. Sometimes some people have a hard time celebrating what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or understanding what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
When I first 10, 12 years ago started in home shopping, I had some friends, they didn't understand home shopping, so they couldn't celebrate it for me.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or even now podcasting, I think for a lot of people still feels like, that's only for
celebrities or
Joe
something.
Rogans of the world.
Yeah.
Or that seems... They don't understand it, so they can't celebrate it.
Yeah.
I love people who can look at it and say, even if I don't understand it, even if I wouldn't do it,
I'm for you.
I'm celebrating you.
So good.
And I would like all of us to do that. And I don't mean it in a toxic positivity way.
Yeah,
I don't mean you have to like everything, be like, you go girl, and then talk bad behind her back.
Right.
But when you see somebody and you have, to your point, you have that thought, share it with them.
Act on it.
Because in this whole entire... This has been one of the more scary things I think I've done in a really long time.
Well, I think it's the difference between being, if you're an actor, you're playing a role, or if you're at work, you're working, versus this is us being us.
Visiting.
Yeah.
And it's something we've been talking about for so long. So sometimes you just talk about it, it never happens. It's happening.
True.
And we do have great support behind the scenes.
Right.
We are the only two on the mic, but we have so many wonderful people behind the scenes.
Yes.
But it does feel more vulnerable. And so to me, in this whole scene, Gina, that meant the most.
It really
everybody.
does. Yeah.
It meant the most. And so thank you so much. And I hope that we can all, not toxic positivity, but I hope that we can all celebrate each other.
Yeah.
No matter how long it's been that we talk to each other.
Oh, this is really good message.
No matter if you understand what they're doing or not.
Right.
No matter if you would take part in it or not.
Yeah.
Just to say, I thought that was awesome. I can't even tell you. Because you expect your mom to say it.
They have to. It's their job.
My husband has to, or he'd be sleeping in this podcast room.
Gina, I'm so thrilled. That's a great
Do you like
story.
that?
That's amazing. Yeah.
So, cheers. Well, and I know we have to wrap this up. You are a product of who you surround yourself with.
Yes. They say you're a combination of the top 5.
Which means I'm a frat boy. Because I've only got 3 boys and a dog here at home that I spend most of my time. Thank you for being my most consistent female at this stage in my life. You're a product of who you surround yourself with. So I know that this episode has been just a little bit more like, I don't like to use the word preachy, but a little bit more advicey, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, we're kind of processing at the same time with you guys too.
Only surround yourself with people who celebrate what means something to you.
100%.
If somebody doesn't celebrate that, you don't have to hate them.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to excommunicate them, but make sure they're outside of that inner circle.
Ooh, this is good.
You
have to protect it.
You do. Mm-hmm. And you will not chase a dream. You will not go for that promotion. You will not try something scary if you have an inner circle that says no.
Yep.
You just won't. You need to have an inner circle. Now, listen, don't become a yes person and everyone says yes to you. Now you're making crazy, you got to have people who keep you accountable.
Yeah.
But people who celebrate you need to be the closest to you.
Ooh, I love this.
Right?
Yeah. Get yourself a crew.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? If it's only one person, then it's only one person. And then you can have, like suburbs. You are Minneapolis, and then keep your inner suburbs close.
Yeah, first ring.
You can have friends on 3rd, 4th ring. No problem.
Yeah.
You don't need to share your dreams with them.
Right.
You don't need to worry about if they're celebrating, dream of, or hope for.
Yeah.
And if you have people like Gina in your corner, you'll do it.
Well, and let me just add one more thing. I think that people like Erin, we just talked about the diva thing, people who are the dreamers, the drivers, the people that really push, I think are important too, because there's a world full of naysayers. There's a world full of critics.
Oh, the diva thing. Yes. So we were just looking at social media. Mm-hmm. There's a former Google CEO. He used the word diva. I don't know if I use the word diva.
I know what he means, but it doesn't
I totally
read right.
know what he means.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking about, in business, you want the divas on your team.
Yeah.
They are going to be more controversial. They're going to push more buttons.
Yeah.
But they're the passionate ones who are demanding a culture of excellence.
Yes.
And we really believe in that.
Yeah.
We like a culture of excellence.
Right.
But it comes with controversy.
They're not the ones that are they're not smooth sailing. They're not the quiet ones. They're not
It comes with difficult conversations. Mm-hmm. And not everybody's ready to have a difficult conversation.
Right.
And not everybody wants to drive for excellence. Yeah. And that's also okay.
But if it's not a good fit, I mean, this is the hard thing.
It's okay if you don't want to drive for excellence, but please don't stop those who want to.
Yes, this is a good way to say it.
I admire those people who are content where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you are content and you're allowed to sit there.
Yeah.
But please don't ask me to stop where you are.
Move, bitch, get out the way.
Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Oh, I couldn't go a whole episode without swearing.
Oh, that's going to be our new theme song.
Luda.
Move, bitch. Get out the way.
Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Yeah. Don't you like that?
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
You can be content where you are.
Then stay in the middle or the right lanes, but left laners only.
Don't get upset with the divas, as he called them.
Yeah.
Who are looking to drive a culture of excellence.
Yes.
Let me go by.
Mm-hmm.
I don't judge you where you want to stay.
Yeah.
Please don't judge me for where I want to go.
This is really good.
Oh my gosh. Is that good?
I love it.
Do you believe in that too? You have to, because we're attracted to each other, not in a sexual way.
It's I don't know. This foot action that's going on would lead me to think
as
otherwise.
I was saying attracted, I felt it in my head. And I'm like, I got to speed this up so everybody knows we have not taken each other as lovers, nor will we ever. Go back to episode 1 or 2. You know for sure it's Tom Selleck and Brian Boitano who have our hearts.
Oh my God.
Okay,
girl.
On that note, here's our PSAs for the day.
Yeah.
Cheer each other on.
Yes.
Let people lie where they want to lie, and let people pass when they want to pass.
Ooh, good.
And
show must go on.
The show must go on, baby cakes.
Yeah.
Laugh about it. If something goes wrong, laugh, let us know, high five your neighbor, and keep going.
I love it.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
I really hope our voices were better this time.
I don't know. I feel like I really dialed in that audio today.
I feel like I was really screaming again. I don't think I didn't make any progress towards a better tone in my voice.
I don't want you to worry about it.
Off. Okay. I love you, Becky. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy all of you are here. And I hope that you all know we'll always be here for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Now do I have to play the Friends?
What's that?
Theme song. I'll be there for
you.
Oh,
yeah, you do.
I'm going to turn this off.
Okay, see you next time. Happy holidays!
You guys, do us a huge favor, please. will you like this podcast, share it, or subscribe? Because that helps, right, Bex?
It will help us a ton.
It will. And I don't know if we've helped you, but if you don't mind helping us, that'd be great.
Fair's fair.
Love you.